Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Critical Insights. Today, let's discuss critically on the significance of the title of the novel Funny Boy. It is a Bildungsroman novel written by Sri Lankan Canadian writer Shyam Selvadurai. He is popularly known especially for this novel, that is Funny Boy. I have used the term Bildungsroman, which means a story or a novel which traces the moral and the psychological growth of the protagonist over time. So basically, in other words, we can also refer Bildungsroman as a novel of formation or novel of education. And since this novel, Funny Boy, it emphasizes on the growth of the central character of the novel, RG, may it be amidst different circumstances or struggles or challenges of his life, but his development right from his childhood stage to his adult stage has been properly mentioned throughout the novel, and hence this novel can also be considered as a Bildungsroman novel, or we can also say it as coming of age story, like how the character has evolved out or developed throughout the spiritual, moral or physical journey of his or her life. So this novel, it entails about RG, the central character or the protagonist of the novel. Now, as we are aware that the whole novel deals about the growth of RG, that is the central character, hence the title of the novel itself is associated with the life and growth of RG. So then the next question is obvious into our minds as how he is a funny boy, or what is the social circumstance, or what is the indication behind the term funny linked with the central character, that is RG, who is a boy. So what exactly may it refer to be recognizing him as a funny boy? So in our layman's word, or in a very ordinary and basic meaning, we know that funny means either making fun of or getting some fun moments. So funny is somewhere linked to amusement. So how the novel Funny Boy, or the character of the novel RG, is funny in terms. So let's look into this now, as the significance of the title of the novel is on a very deeper level of understanding, because just the term funny is very simple, the understanding is quite deeper and analytical. So basically, RG, the central character whose life has been entailed in the novel from his childhood to adulthood, was one of those characters who was quite indifferent in the social expectations or in the norms of the society, or in other words, we can say that RG could not be able to fit into the social norm, social principle, or social expectations of. RG was indifferent to society, as in has never possessed those manly qualities which has been expected by the society from RG being a man. So basically he never had that masculinity traits in himself. Right from his childhood days, he was more interested in playing games which are recognized by the society to be associated only for girls, and he never used to play games such as cricket, which were meant by the society only for men. So RG was considered to be abnormal or indifferent for the society, as he was unfit to be recognized in the patriarchal ideologies of the society, and so on. RG's growth has been quite abnormal right from the childhood days. Also, it has been distinctively mentioned in the novel that RG used to participate in the games played by his girl cousins, such as bride game, where he used to get dressed up as a bride in sari and makeup. He finds some ultimate amusements in dressing up as the bride and playing with the girls. And even when RG was exposed once in front of the elders while being draped in sari, he gets scolded by his parents and relatives. His parents were shocked and amazed to see him in some other manly characters, and he was forced to play the masculine games such as cricket and football with the boys. But RG was very clear in his mind that he was never being able to enjoy those games as much as he has enjoyed the games such as bride game. So basically, the title of the novel, if we see very closely, is based upon the protagonist RG, where the word funny is not only referring to RG being humorous, but has also a very deeper level of in text and indication, where funny is referred of him being socially unacceptable, and where his sexuality or gender has become a joke for the society. So for that purpose, funny is quite critical to understand in the growing stages of RG. Even RG's choices has put him out as a strange boy, or in other words, as a queer boy who is different from the rest. He was enthused in his mind right from his childhood days that he was not the same as the other men in the society. So he was more being treated as a other in the society, and therefore when the family members have once noticed him in a sari, they make fun of him, calling him a funny boy. From there and from that point of view, he was recognized as a funny boy. And later on, the novel progresses with his various stages of life, but basically the term funny has been attached to his character, to his identity, and to his sexuality right from the childhood days, from his own relatives who could never understand him being functioning other than men. So that's the main point of view behind the term or use of the term funny. Throughout the novel, we also have an idea to see how the relatives, parents, or the society behaves when RG is not understandable by them in the context of societal expectations of gender, and even his own parents have urged him to behave like normal boy just like the other siblings. Now my question is, what is normal according to society? That RG behaves not as a man, or the parents or the society is not able to understand him for his different behaviors? Maybe RG's functioning of gender is normal to him, and the other people in the society is not able to understand him. So the question of normal and the question of abnormal remains vague in this. Next, the parents have also always urged him to make him do things that are considered appropriate for the society. And later on, when he progresses and he grows up as a adult boy, as a growing boy, he tried to realize more and more about his sexual choices. He once had a sexual encounter with some other queer boy, that is Shehan, whom he meets accidentally at Victoria Academy. After this incident, RG fully recognizes what his true self is, and he urges to get involved with the same gender. So even though at first he thinks that he had committed a sin, later on he realizes that this is what he wants exactly, and it is what makes him truly happy. So Shyam Selvadurai, as a writer who has also belonged to the community, has painted the character of RG, mixing up the different struggles that might have been faced by himself. And so we can say that somewhere in the character of RG, Shyam Selvadurai has been trying to incorporate his own elements or his own identity. So somewhere the novel has ironically been chosen in reference to the story. More interestingly, his own parents have sent him once to Victoria Academy, which is recognized as one of the most rigid and conservative institutions in the upbringing or in the impact of the child's growth. And RG was also sent there to so that he can be trained up as a man, he can behave like a man. So this was his parents' decision, but it is in this same school that he has been able to recognize more about his own identity, about his true self, and about his sexuality. So it is quite ironic in that moment. And moreover, the school has tried to institutionalize the identity or sexuality of a man or of a child. So this novel, through this novel, we can also get an idea that how society behaves or how society acts when a man is not being able to fit into their so-called ideologies or so-called principles of the society. So basically, we can say the gender is a performance. One cannot behave like a boy just because he is biologically a boy, or one cannot behave like a girl just because she is biologically a girl. So this can be dragged according to their own gender choices, and this is what the novel is all about. Now we can discuss more on this queer theory, LGBTQ, and how gender identity or social expectation is